But if you go and brave the weird and haunted shores at World's End, then you will need a captain who knows those waters.
What's up, guys? This is Ironhide X. Today I'm going to be doing a review and guide on the Tier 8 Japanese cruiser Atago. This is a Tier 8 premium Japanese cruiser on the Japan tree, and unlike World of Warships unlike World of Tanks and Warships, you can put any Japanese crew in here. So it doesn't matter if you have a battleship crew or a destroyer crew or an aircraft carrier crew. You can put any Japanese crew in here, and you don't have to retrain them or anything, and it's good to go, and you could start earning experience for any Japanese captain. As far as crew skills here, real quick, I just want to say they're pretty obvious which ones to get, but I will say probably the best crew skill, guys, is that advanced firing training that gives you 20% range on 155 or below. Now for the Atago, all that's going to do is offer you better AA, but it's a very, very good skill, and definitely one I think we should be going after. Now a little bit more info about the Atago. So the Atago can be purchased for 10,700 doubloons in-game, or it can be purchased through the premium shop through the website for 47 bucks. Guys, if you're going to buy an Atago, what I recommend you doing though is buying the $50 gold package. I think it's 51 bucks, and that'll give you 12,000 doubloons. So I recommend spending the 50 bucks, getting the 12,000 doubloons, and buying the ship in-game for 10,700, and then that leaves you also some doubloons left over. I think that is by far the best way to go. For a couple extra bucks, you get a couple thousand doubloons, and so that's how I recommend you get it. As far as upgrades, you saw on my Atago here, I am broke in-game, so I don't have a lot of the upgrades and modules that needed. I definitely would recommend getting the pretty much universal ones for the Atago, guys, is the rudder shift time. I didn't have it on here because I didn't have the credits to buy it, but you definitely want the rudder shift time. The concealment upgrade is a good one to get because this thing has really great concealment. It has a base concealment, I think, of 11 kilometers and some change, so you can almost get to your torpedo launch range in stealth. Now if you put on that concealment thing, you actually can pretty much get right to your launch range. So it's definitely, this is a very stealthy ship. So you're going to want the concealment upgrade, you're going to want the rudder shift time upgrade, you're going to want the upgrade that gives you a reduction in fire chance and flooding chance, and then for your others, I go with main battery mod, I think 1, which all it does is it gives you a decreased chance of getting ammo racked on your turrets. Now the big one that can be interchanged is your second slot. You can go with AA, you can go with the torpedo one, you can go with the gun accuracy mod. I put gun accuracy mod on here just because I already had one sitting in my port, so it didn't cost me anything. But really there is no bad option. The Atago, one of the Atago's kind of weaknesses is it does not have very good AA, especially being a Tier 8. You definitely cannot rely on your AA to stop incoming squads. When you pop your AA ability, which guys, definitely switch out. Don't use the sonar ability, definitely use the AA ability. When you go to your upgrade screen, you can actually pick between the two. You can select either the sonar man or the anti-aircraft ability, and the AA is definitely the way to go. But when you use your AA, it is effective. You will down planes. Most importantly, you'll stop the enemy squads from being able to drop on you because its shotguns are spread out. And so if you have that along with that captain perk that increases the range, when you do pop your AA, you will down planes fairly easily. But while that's not going, your AA really does not hold up that well, especially if you've taken damage and some of your AA mounts may have gotten knocked out. So the Atago. Now how do I actually fight the ship and whatnot about it? So the Atago, I like to, again, play it. If you watch my other cruiser guides, you know I like to play slippery, but With Japanese cruisers, you also can what I like to call joust. You can pretty much joust with it, and what you do is you can be slippery at long range. You have really excellent guns on this. You've got 10 203 millimeter guns that will absolutely devastate targets. In the Atago, I like to shoot armor piercing at other cruisers and high explosive at battleships and destroyers. With some battleships, guys, you can actually shoot armor piercing. If you get within 5 kilometers of a Congo or a Amagi or an Miyogi, and they're flat on where they're not angled, you can actually switch to AP and you can get through their armor and citadel them. Do not try shooting armor piercing at any American battleship, however. I've loaded this up in a training room, and you will not get through a North Carolina's belt armor even at 1 kilometer. It's just, you get much, much better results with shooting high explosives. The big things, your weakness with this ship, guys, is you have fairly large citadels that are very easy to hit. Don't worry about your gun turrets too much. They're not going to really be the citadel spot. Where your big risk is your boiler room and underneath your torpedo racks. And since you have 2 torpedo racks per side, you have very large citadels. So if you show the side of your ship to an enemy battleship or cruiser, you can expect that you're going to be taking really, really big hits. So being aware of how you're angled is extremely important in this ship, guys. Always, always, always blade yourself. And one of the big strengths of this ship is it has amazing torpedoes. This thing has 2 launchers on each side, each one spitting out, I can't remember if it's 4 or 5, but quite a lot of torpedoes though. And they have very, very good arcs. It's probably one of the best arcs of any torpedo boat in the game. You can shoot very nicely in front of you and behind you without having to completely expose your broadside. And so often, and guess you'll see like here, I'm always shooting off torpedoes as much as I can. Even if I don't know if they'll hit or not, all I need for those torpedoes really to do is to cause a moment of hesitation, make them turn, make them show me a broadside. Torpedoes don't necessarily have to hit and do damage to be very effective. So you see here in this battle, again, the danger here, guys, is showing your broadside. I was forced into the wall there. Now, I'm not a wall rider, but I keep getting forced into there. But I definitely want to pull out. See, there's my armor piercing, punishing that enemy cruiser. But I'm trying to get off the wall, but each time I get shot at, or you see the torpedoes coming in. But I want to get off the wall. I want to stay mobile. And just wall riding is kind of a cheesy tactic. So I'm in a platoon here with my buddy Soja, and I think it was Devil. I'm not real sure. And we were all 3 of us in Atagos, and I think this replay shows a good chunk of how to play this boat. So like I said earlier, I like to play slippery, and that's where I want to stay at my max gun range, your maximum effective gun range, which is, again, guys, as far away from the target but that you can still reliably get hits. So with the Atago, though, it has very good guns, so that's normally 15 kilometers. Stay at 15 kilometers and just hammer them with your guns. You definitely don't want to push into a big blob like this until you took a few of them out at least. So I like to play very slippery and just constant maneuvering. As you're fighting in the ship, guys, the turrets do turn fairly slow, and so a lot of people will be very tempted to go full broadside to get all their turrets on target. And I can tell you right now, guys, don't worry about that. If you could only shoot at an enemy ship with two gun turrets, but protect yourself, that's definitely the way to do it. Don't worry about trying to get all your guns on target. Protecting yourself is the number one priority, guys. So again, being aware of who's shooting at you, what's shooting at you, constant maneuvering, very, very important. So playing slippery, that's how I like to do it. And then and that's what I'm doing right here. And then I'll kind of move in, try to fire off some torpedoes, hope for some hits, and then continue backing out and becoming slippery. Just never showing that broadside. It's extremely dangerous. When I play battleships, I one-shot Atagos all the time that show me a broadside. This is a very fast ship, so you can very, very quickly move in and out as needed to fire off your torpedoes. Your torpedoes have 10-kilometer range, so you can, if you have enemy ships that are moving towards you, you can actually shoot them about 13 kilometers out, and by the time they get to target, the enemy would have closed the distance enough where the torpedoes could still hit. If they're steaming away from you, you got to get much, much closer, 6 kilometers really. And then if they're going, parallel to you, it's just use your best judgment. Whenever you're fighting an Atago, guys, and you see him start to do a big turn, if he's not shooting his guns, you can be 100% for sure guaranteed that he's launching torpedoes. So guys, whenever you do go on a torpedo run, make sure to keep firing your guns. Even if you don't have a shot, just keep firing your guns, because oftentimes people kind of forget about the torpedoes until they realize, oh wait, this guy's not shooting anymore, and then they start maneuvering. So very important to keep your guns firing even when you're going into a torpedo run, just to make sure that they won't preempt your torpedo attack and start to slow down or change course. My favorite targets to kill in this ship are everything. You are a threat to everything. You can HE spam battleships to death. You're absolutely devastating to destroyers. As you see here, I'm going to blap this destroyer with a high explosive. 203 millimeter high explosive rounds just annihilate destroyers. They don't do too well against an Atago. Not to mention the fact that you also have more torpedoes most times than the destroyers themselves. And you have very fast, I think the torpedoes on the Atago go 65 knots, 10-kilometer range, and I think they do 17,000 damage per hit. Very good torpedoes. Whenever I fire off my torpedoes on the ship, if I'm ever aiming at a ship, I always go narrow spread. If I'm aiming at a large group of ships and it's kind of just a spray and pray kind of thing, I will sometimes go widespread. But generally, the spread on the Atago torpedoes is already quite large, even when you go narrow spread. So generally, that's the best way to fire off the torpedoes in this, is with narrow spread. And so again, because you have really good concealment, you can engage in one part of the match, kill a ship, and then quickly stop firing, go dark, and very quickly move around the map and engage somewhere else that they're not expecting. Because you're very, very fast. I think this ship tops out at 35 knots, so you're as fast as a destroyer pretty much. Very fast, very stealthy, and extremely heavily armed. This ship is a damage-dealing ship. As far as any big weaknesses, the only real weakness with the Atago is it has very large citadels, and it turns well enough, but it's not exactly what I would call a nimble ship, but it does turn well enough that you can dodge battleship fire, and that's like the big deal anyways. So as you see here, I'm going to start moving in. Now this is what I like to earlier when I said jousting. This is the tactic I use for that. Is I will steam towards an enemy ship, preferably a battleship. It's my favorite thing to joust with. And the reason why I say joust is you just keep going forward until you're point blank range, and then you slam your joust into them and hope for the best. And that's what I like to call jousting. But instead of a big stick, you use torpedoes. And because this thing does have very nice lines on it with its torpedo arc, you can oftentimes fire off torpedoes with the enemy not being completely aware that you're shooting them off. And then because you have them on both sides, you can get kind of sneaky with it and fire on multiple ships. Oftentimes people, whenever you're shooting at an enemy ship, the ships around them kind of lose track of you if you're not shooting at them. And so take advantage of that. So like here, I'm engaging the ship over here to my right, but I'm also going to be shooting out torpedoes at these other guys who aren't necessarily going to be expecting it. Again, with this ship, the 203mm guns, they have a very good fire chance. So HEing battleships and armor-piercing cruisers, you can do quite a bit of damage. And then with this thing also having the torpedoes, you are a major threat to everything in the game. Nothing in the game can ignore you in this boat because you can do so much damage. So here we go. I just knocked out that battleship. And now, my hit points are low, I've got to just keep dodging fire, and just try to get some more damage. At this point, I'm so close that I'm in full-on joust mode. If I were to turn and show a broadside, I would die. Now, guys, whenever you are going at an enemy ship, specifically a battleship, one of the big things I see a lot of cruiser captains do is they wait till they're about 4 or 5 kilometers away, and then they'll go broadside to fire off their torpedoes. I have much more success getting much closer. If you wait until you are 1 kilometer away, and then you turn, battleships oftentimes at that range, they have difficulty tracking you with their guns. And because their guns are on the front and the back side of their ship, once you get down to like 1 or 2 kilometers, their guns become even more inaccurate than normal. And so it's much safer for you to turn to do your broadside torpedo launch at 2 kilometers than it is actually at 4 or 5. So I like to wait until I'm point blank normally. Now here, because I'm engaging multiple targets at the same time, I'm go ahead and taking risks and pumping out torpedoes in every direction that I can. Right now, I know I'm kind of in a bad situation, so I want to keep pumping out torpedoes and do as much damage as I can. I've launched my spreads on my left and right sides at different ships. So there's another 2 hits. This ship, because you could shoot HE, it has a very high fire chance on its high explosive shells, and that on top of with your torpedoes. Oftentimes in this ship, guys, you'll see when the match ends that you've done, 50, 60, 70, 80,000 in fire and flooding, on top of just the direct damage of the actual attacks. So there, I got taken out. But overall, I did my job. I did lots of damage. I put lots of torpedoes into ships. Just before I died there, I launched those torpedoes at that aircraft here that was not moving, and we'll see if we get some success with him. So anyway, this is my review and guide of the Atago, guys. Again, play slippery, stay at max gun range, and shoot the right ammo at the right ships. And then when you have an opportunity to move in and slam them with torpedoes, definitely take that. Use islands, use icebergs, anything you can to get in close, launch those torpedoes, and then get out quick. This ship, it does have large citadels, but it also has lots of hit points. It has 40,000 hit points, so you can take a few citadel hits and damage and whatnot. So really use that to your advantage here. Overall, do I feel this ship is worth the $50? Absolutely. This thing does make excellent credits. It's a fun ship to play. Because of your torpedo loadout, you can really take down any ship in the game. See, I just got that carrier. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the guide. Please subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends about it. Link my videos. Post in the forums if you want to see anything else. I ended this battle here with 205,000 damage. Yeah, 205,000 damage, and I believe I made 860,000 credits. That's from one match. So the Atago definitely can make some big time credit money. If I had my credit flag going, I did not have it going on this. You're talking approaching almost 1 million credits for one match. So anyways, guys, again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please let me know in the forums. Send me a message. what y'all want to see next, what ships you want to see next. Right now, I'm currently on the Azumo for my battleship line on the Japanese. I am on the Aoba, but I unlocked the Miyoko for the cruiser line. I just have to purchase it. I don't have the credits to buy it yet. I now own an Atlanta as well. I'll be doing a guide on that. I also own a Murmansk. I'll be doing another guide on that one. That is a very fun ship too, by the way, guys. Look forward to that guide when it comes out. On the Japanese destroyer line, I'm on the Hatsura. I have it unlocked. Unfortunately, I don't have the credits to buy it. I did have a good chunk of credits, but I spent them all on the Azumo, and that I'm going to be doing another guide on the well, not another, but I'm going to do a guide on the Azumo, and hopefully I will drink a few beers or something beforehand to lighten up my mood, because that's a tough ship to like. So all I can say so far. So that's my Japanese ships. Oh, I also have the Tier 7 aircraft carrier. I am extremely close to the Tier 8, and I'll be doing another guide on carriers once I do get to Tier 8, because I did a first guide on carriers, but it was lower tier, and so I'm going to do another one when I'm in higher tiers. As far as my U.S. ships, I'm at the New Orleans. I've again unlocked, but I have not purchased it yet. I'm at the Colorado. So both of my battleships I'm grinding are the Colorado and the Azumo, and it's very that'll make your inner child die just a little bit right there. But again, I'm planning on doing guides to each of these ships as I grind through it. Sorry I've not had videos out on a regular basis lately. I'm moving, in the process of moving right now, and it's made it a little difficult. Getting the internet and just everything squared away. So anyways, this is kind of dragged on. Again, thanks for watching. Please send me a message on the forums or on YouTube. Leave it in the comments what you want to see next. And guys, if you see me in game, my name's Ironhide X in game. Just hit me up with a message. I will platoon with anybody. You can tell me my videos are awesome or tell me they suck, whatever. If you want to hit me up in game, I'll chat with anybody. And this is Ironhide X signing out. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.